another Extraordinary Sports podcast episode. I'm your host, Alex Monaco, chilling with our friend for a second time on the pod, the artist, M. Marshall, who just dropped an incredible album that I've been bumping this morning, Who I Want to Be. M, how we doing this morning, sir?
We're doing great. We're doing great, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's been an exciting couple of weeks for you. Want to kind of just kick things off with talking about how's it feeling now that the album's out, dropped, and you're getting all kinds of love for it, mobbing around the country. How's it feel?
Man, it's surreal because I'm very proud of it. Very, very proud of it. But now I'm like, well, shucks, man, what do I do? Like, when I say music is what I do. Everything else is kind of, part of the business. When I'm creating, that's when I'm kind of in my comfort zone,
Right.
But I appreciate my team. They keep me focused and forward. But it's just kind of like shucks. You spend your whole life waiting for this moment, and it came, and I did the best that I could on the album. So, but I'm happy. I'm happy. It feels great.
That's fantastic. Well, I've been listening to it. I'm enjoying the versatility. I gotta be honest. Changes is the first one I heard, so I like that one the most. But next to it, I gotta go with Love You Better, man. That sounds like that's gonna be a club banger. It's only a matter of time.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. That record, I actually strategically, when I picked it, I went in that day and was like, all right, I've been talking about enough of, the other side of Marcus. I said it'd be fun if I did a really good record with kind of a great message in it, and get it to this club beat. To this beat that people can move to. Just keeping with the good vibe. So that one, that's how Love You came about.
Oh, the toes were tapping, the hips were ready to move. I just didn't have a lady friend next to me. Otherwise, we were mobbing to it, baby.
Oh, I feel you, man. I feel you.
So, we were talking music and sports and kind of the correlations last time. When you craft an album from beginning to end, let's call it similarly to a football season, if you will. You have, you have a team that you're doing it with, and it's a process, but also it's a finished product. So when you're going through that process, I'm sure you have ebbs and flows. You got to pick people up at certain points. Not saying there's interceptions like there are on the field in football, so to speak, but kind of touch on just an experience from beginning to end. And if you have any observations of relating it to sports, since we're obviously on a sports podcast, with the whole process of making the album.
Man, you have everything that you have in a game. You go in with a game, you look at yourself and what you do well, and just like when I choose producers and writers that co-write with me, I look at people who compliment what I do well, or people that I can learn from, or the best people that I have that I have reached to, that I can actually grab. And the process, art imitates life for me,
right?
Anyway, and the process, man, is some days in the studio, travel days are real tricky. I normally, if I'm on a plane that day, I normally don't want to go record because I don't know how I'm going to feel when I get off the plane.
Yeah.
So that's definitely akin to a team wanting to travel out a couple days early to get acclimated, because they don't know. I get motion sickness for one, so that can kill my whole day. And even during the game, man, there's interceptions, there's distractions that come in the studio. Like, oh my gosh, you have people that want to come see you. You have people that don't know you that want to come see you. You have people that board that just want to hang out and hang around, and I'm real particular about my vibe.
Yeah.
If I'm in the studio and I'm cooking and I got something good going, I rarely allow anybody to leave or come in, because when you introduce something to the mix or you take it out of the mix, that can disrupt the chemistry. And
of course,
that wave that you had, that momentum that you had, and it just fall flat. So it's
I hear
like
you.
a game plan. Sometimes you got to change courses because sometimes stuff isn't working, or sometimes you find something that works better.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you find, that superstar thing or lyric, that thing that will take you to the next level that you didn't even know that was around you this whole time. So
would you say, you're in there, you're Andrew Luck and you're Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady in there. You're the quarterback for the team here, but of course, you're in a first person point of view. You're in the booth, and you have your head coach. You got your producers. I mean, I'm not sure if the producers, or plural or not, would be the head coach in this situation, but yeah, that's what you already answered my next question. But I did want to lead into just curious about, when just like in a game plan, you're seeing certain things on the fly and the game on the move, and you want to adjust and get that Peyton Manning Omaha going. But is it kind of like that? You're the quarterback in there, but you're playing at the same time. So being able to take creative suggestions from the sideline, from outside the booth, if you will, are paramount to piecing this thing together as you move forward with it.
Yeah, honestly, I would say I was a quarterback, and the producers that I worked with, they were the coach, and a lot of the time, not even a lot of the time, 100% of the time it's on me. I can ask questions. I can say, how do you feel about this? But ultimately is how you feel about the project, or how you feel about the vibe that you have going, or how do you feel about whatever's going on.
Yeah.
One day, the first time I went to LA to record, we had got all the agreements signed and everything. We had gotten all the paperwork taken care of for the tracks that I was going to use. I went in one of the last days of recording, and I told my producer, Yanni, I said, look, don't kill me, but I really don't like this track anymore that you sent, that I agreed to. And he just kind of looked up from his phone and looked at me. I said, I know, hear me out. And I asked him, I said, look, can we swap out and just, I'm feeling this thing way more. I'm on this with it right now at this particular moment in time. How do you feel about it? He was like, okay, we can do that. But he kind of looked up and his eyes got big when I said, all right, I'm not feeling this one anymore.
Yeah.
That was the
So would you equate that to like an athlete? You got your gut and then you got your head. You got a logical side. All right, we already did this. We put in this effort, but my gut's telling me otherwise. My instincts are telling me to take off. After I read my progressions or what have you.
Absolutely. I know this guy. I already told him in the huddle that I'm going to him this play because that's a playmaker, and he's been killing all game. But they might sneak in. Defense might shift and sneak in some double coverage on him. I already know it because I see this this guy creeping, or you got a safety coming up to the line.
Yeah,
that isn't where he's supposed to be. So I got to go with my gut. That swing route might be open, or that wheel route off the backfield might be open.
There it is. Well, I want to take it back a week or so. You're rolling around New York City, the Big Apple, at Times Square, and you lift your head up, and there you are on a giant billboard, smack dab in the most famous, well-known city in the country, and arguably the most well-known spot in that city. When you saw yourself on a billboard in Times Square, take me through the emotional thought process there, right then in the moment.
Wow, that's all I can say. Basically, wow. And you know, I'm a songwriter. I'm always supposed to have the words, you know, but just wow. That's really, because Times Square was the first place. The first time I ever went to New York, Times Square was the first place. Was the place that I came out of the subway, because I took a bus from Washington to all the way to New York, and then got dropped off like in the subway. So I'm walking around in shorts in December underground, and then all of a sudden, yeah, my friend tells me where to get on the stairs and come up that, and then I'm dragging luggage through Times Square in shorts, and I'm just like, okay, wow, this is crazy. So that was pretty surreal.
Wow.
And
so did you think about that moment in shorts in December when you were rolling up in the moment just a week or so ago?
Absolutely, because I was so green that first time, and I was so in awe. I was just trying to take it all in, and now that I know what New York is and what, you know, have some idea of what New York is, we say that, and I know how hard that is. Everybody doesn't get that. You know, people in their lifetimes that are from New York and live in New York that want a billboard in Times Square.
Yeah.
And here I am, all the way on the other side of the country. It's surreal. That was an amazing thing, man. I'll never forget that, ever.
That's incredible, man. I was fired up for you just looking at it through the virtual screen. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, what a moment.
Yeah. Everybody I know that saw it was calling me. It was like, man, wow, how, what, when, why, like, what oh, you got a big announcement coming? I'm like, shucks, the billboard was the announcement.
That's absolutely. So when you finish an album, you're getting hit up and complimented. I'm just wondering, you know, as an artist, you know, you put so much into your work and your craft, and you know, it's such a process, and then it becomes a finished product, and you release it into the universe, into the world. What's the most rewarding feeling once you get finished with a project like this? Is it how it hits home with others? Is it how good you feel about the work you put out because you gave 110? Or is there one thing? Is it a combination of both? But I know you're only a few weeks into the album drop, but I'm just curious, you know, what's been the best moments, feelings wise, of this whole process?
What's been the best moment? I'd have to say my album release party. There was a moment where, you know, I just looked out. I was standing kind of on stage, and I just looked out and I saw all the people that could support. It was a Wednesday. I know people had to go to work the next day. A lot of my life, I felt alone. As an artist, we feel real isolated because we're in our head so much. And a lot of it is just us, if we could get out of our own head. But it was kind of a moment of epiphany for me when I just realized, like, my gift and what I do and how I do it is able to reach a lot of people, and a lot of people enjoy it, and a lot of people also enjoy who I am, you know. So that was the moment. It was a moment of feeling like my community, like the love from a bunch of different places. Let's say that.
Yeah, well said. Well said. And you got the love you.
Big team. Yeah, like I had a big team. You say that.
There you go. There you go. We got the Love You Better video coming up. You're shooting in Atlanta with your brother on Labor Day weekend. Talk about that for a second. What a special moment. Obviously doing this, your brother there every step of the way with the record label, the whole thing. I mean, but being able to kind of tie that in a bow and go out and film a music video with him. I mentioned one of my favorite songs on the album. It's gotta feel surreal as well.
Heck, my coach put my my coach put this together, my assistant coach. Shout out to the 49ers for assistant coach in the NFL.
Absolutely.
My manager, she's actually amazing. Female, I'm saying she. But she's putting that together, and I'm excited about it. She's so great at what she does. A lot of times, I get my directions, and I do it. And that's kind of like how Mike Vick did it when he first admitted that he didn't really have much game study. And Brandon, he's actually super excited about being in the video because, he's on the album. At first, when I started this process, he was around, but not around a lot. We were in LA at the same time. He came to the studio at least 3 out of 4 days of the week. Whether it was vibing, whether it was sitting, whether it was working, whether it was chilling. Like, we had a whole photo shoot at the studio too, and he just enjoyed the process. His whole thing was, oh man, I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. And that's all he kept saying. He definitely knows he's going to enjoy shooting the music video because it's a fun one. The departure from changes, tempo, and we're gonna make a movie.
That's what's up, man. That's incredible, and I got 2 brothers myself, so having the family support, and they're gonna be with you your whole life. So that's an incredible moment there in the booth, and I look forward to seeing the finished product of what comes out of Atlanta in a few weeks. Just a couple more questions for you, M. Marshall, artist, brother of Brandon Marshall. So you have 5 very powerful words. The title of the album, Who I Want to Be. I kind of want to just touch on that for a sec. Such a upside down world now where there's so many wrongs that need to be righted. When you came up with those 5 words, which are really powerful, can you touch on just a little bit of, because you are being who you want to be, you're staying true to who you are, and you're sharing that gift, and that's invaluable, and you can't put a price tag on that. You can only share that energetically, person to person, and through your craft. So how did you come up with those 5 words? And then also just a word or a tip to someone out there who maybe not being who they want to be, and just need a little bit of a push to be more of their authentic, true self.
At a very down time in my life, trying to keep a long story short, but at a very down time in my life, my brother and I had a conversation. Marcus, I think you're at the place in your life right now where you, every decision that you make, from the moment you wake up in the morning, you decide throughout the day, does this choice bring me closer to who I want to be, or does it take me further away from the person that I want to be? Way before I started the album, I think it was at the inception of at the creation of Valley View, that we had that conversation in the studio. We were crossing Hollywood Boulevard, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks in the face. Man, that's what I turned to my manager. I said, you know what? The title of the album is going to be called Who I Want to Be. What I was singing about is what the whole project is about collectively as a whole. It's about being the best person that I can for my family, being the best man that I can, being the best citizen I can for the world. And I am not perfected and finished becoming who I want to be, but I'm getting closer every day. Some days are better than others. But to anybody, to any person that is that it's never over. You're always going to be in unfinished work, but you masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time.
Mm.
You just got to accept it and know where you are.
Well said. Beautifully crafted right there. You must be an artist or something on the other line there. Well, yo, I know you gotta go. You're a busy man. Couple questions though. We got NFL preseason kicking off, baby. I know you might be a little biased over there, but any predictions on you can go Super Bowl with it, you can go breakout player of the year, any out there predictions you want to throw in the NFL 2017 season? I'm fired up for it. Can't wait.
Playoff run. Broncos make the playoff. One prediction. I think the addition of Jamal Charles offense, he is honest. Simeon's nothing. Trevor Simeon is nothing to that. I'm sorry, I can't talk to that. Smith, that he's
Northwestern, baby.
That you really don't, you really don't notice him until he scores a 99 on the test and blowing the curve for everybody else. And what was the next one? I had another one. Oh yeah, the offense. It has a lot of juice now, man. The play calling and the style of plays, it's pretty saucy. The offense as a whole has a confidence. Yeah, that Bronco D is amazing, but the way the offense is coming along is awesome. As far as breakout players, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of preseason football. I haven't been able to watch a lot of preseason football. I do a lot of reading on a lot of teams and what's going on.
Yeah. Of Deshaun Watson and Mahomes opening. I mean, Mahomes is in your division, so I mean, I know Alex Smith. You got to give him the nod out of the gate, but Mahomes just looks like who just high IQ, two-sport guy growing up, and has the leadership qualities.
He is one of those guys that just does it. Like, you just do it, and he plays confidently.
Right.
Like you say, that come from 2-4 and you could just see the swagger. It's awesome to see rookies that play well and incredibly well, because not all rookies are able to do that. He still has some things to learn. It's going to be really dope when he gets faster, and when he starts to really just lean on his intuition and what he sees. There's guys that shouldn't be in position to make plays because of where they were at the beginning of the play. Such athletes that they're able to make up ground. They're so smart that they're able to change change initially what they thought to be in their head and just go with the flow. Go with the flow, what they thought, and they end up making plays that they shouldn't have made, and that makes everybody, even coaching staff, kind of look up and say, "Okay, well, here." So, I'm trying to think of my favorite rookie this year.
It's all good.
Don't.
Well, yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'll be remiss if I didn't bring it up, just because he's a friend, and it's topical right now, and I'm personally flabbergasted by it. I don't understand why our boy Colin hasn't gotten a team. I know it's close in Baltimore. Personally, I thought that was just going to be a call under the table from him to John Harbaugh. But he's still sitting there looking for a job. Any 2 cents on the matter, because I'm looking at 7 teams right now that could him, and it's just upsetting at this point.
Without cursing all over your cast.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna just say that it's BS. understand why a lot of people are upset. A lot of people were mad. I understand a lot of people feel the way they feel, but that doesn't negate natural born American citizen that he feels and feels the way that and says the thing that he says. And yeah, everybody amateur things you could say in his fashion choices, but everybody gets caught up in everything but the point of the protest. The message is lost because everybody focuses on the method of delivering the message. Right. I'm interested to hear what all the super patriotic extreme in Oakland think. Now that Marshawn, he didn't even take a knee for the anthem. He stayed sitting down. The thing about Marshawn Lynch, he's gonna be who he's going to be.
Right.
He's who he wants to be. He's gonna be who he wants to be, and with it, honestly. And all I can say is we can be so hypocritical. Everybody sees what's going on. Everybody sees what's going on, and it's not like this country. It's not gonna be like we're lying. You don't really see what's going on. All these things happening in their stories each week, and there's incidents every day. So you need to believe and take a look at it. It is simply just scrutinizing, just looking at choices that certain people in certain professions make. It's a profession like teachers. For a teacher to say, okay, another teacher isn't bad, or I mean, the best teacher, or maybe not good at this and not that. We don't do that with our law enforcement. And I honor those men and women because my godfather are men of the law. Some of my favorite cousins are now men of the law. So on and so forth. But hard to say, okay, maybe this guy or maybe this lady isn't actually cut out to be on the force. It happens. Yeah. Stress, post-traumatic stress, all that stuff is real. It affects people every day, and it affects people in different ways. But we need to be able to be honest. It might just keep getting worse because life and death decisions are made. So if in any other profession in the world, we got to be able to scrutinize constructive way and say, it isn't working. Or this isn't, we need to do this differently. Just like in the game. Plan he's set in concrete because the game plan changes with the flow. If you refuse to change and adapt, you'll be extinct. Yeah. And my thought, sorry, it's not poetic, but it's
no, I appreciate it. That was authentic, and hear from you just because I wanted to give you the floor, and like I said, I would have been remiss if I didn't bring it up. I appreciate the time. Another phenomenal conversation on the mic. Please keep me posted. I'm out here in West Hollywood, man. If you got a show coming up in the next few weeks, couple months out here, bring some homies, bring whoever, bring some lady friends. And yeah, man, continued success. Again, Instagram, follow them on at official M Marshall, and Twitter, OFFM Marsh. And congratulations again, my friend, on Spotify, iTunes, and then some. M Marshall on the mic Monday morning, baby. Let's get after it.
Thanks for having me. Let's go be great. Monday morning.
There it is, man. All right. Appreciate you, Em.
No problem.
All right, man. Take care. Now, was And Marshall, brother of Brandon Marshall on the Denver Broncos, speaking some truth and talking a little music and sports. This is another episode of the Extraordinary Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Monaco. Ta-ta, real smooth.